Hello and welcome to Zelda Speedruns. Today we have a match of the A Link to the Past NMG League Season 3. This is Eastern Palace Division Round 1. Matchup is JaSpieleWilli versus RadicalSniper aka Jesse. And in the commentary booth we have Keeps and Secretly as Slivers. Take it from here.
Hello, I am Secretly a Sliver, also known as Sean, here with my buddy Keebs, and we will be commentating for you. Keebs, say hi to the people.
Hello, people. Should be a good race. NMG is always fun, right? Hopefully nothing happens in Escape, but we'll watch it. Looks like Zelda is fun, and I love Zelda. So the file names are already doing great.
Everybody loves Zelda. So I'm a little more familiar with Radical Sniper, aka Jesse. We've played together a little bit. Not as familiar with Willi, but it looks like he's got a solid time up there.
Yeah, it looks like much faster than what I had seen on Speedrun.com earlier when I was trying to figure out their PBs. So, but anything can happen in this. I know, being sub 90 here, both players are probably capable of putting in a very good run. It wouldn't surprise me if we get close to a PB on either side. And then there's always the fun RNG factors of this game.
Yes, this game is notoriously RNG heavy. And here we go. We are off. Mash through some text boxes as Zelda asks for help. And then we go help her.
Yeah, this sequence here is probably my favorite part of the lore of the game, is that your uncle runs out of the house to go save Zelda and makes it, 3 screens before succumbing to the 2 green guards in the hallway? I'm not really sure.
I'm not gonna lie, first time I played this game, I also got killed by the 2 green guards in the hallway, so... Luckily, our runners will be able to just walk right past those guards and out into the rainy night.
I do love a rainy night. All right, so would it be an escape sequence if somebody didn't talk about pumping, or we're just gonna let that one go?
So pumping, so what the runners are doing, you might see Link's movement be a little herky-jerky. What they're doing is basically spamming buttons when they're going left or up to reset Link's walking speed and make him walk faster.
Yeah, those little pixel boosts pump Link forward, I guess, while you pump the buttons.
They really do add up. I don't know the exact numbers, but I believe every 3 successful pumps gets you about 1 frame of movement. Alright, no issues with the blue guard there. Sometimes he can be royal pain.
Yeah, I think that blue guard's like the first mini boss, right? Like of the entire game.
And we've got one doing one pot, and Jesse's going back to get the pot. So most runners that you see will slash that ball and chain guard 8 times, but it does make the fight a little easier if you just pick up a pot from the cell beside and go and hit him and slash him 4 times instead. Unfortunately, there's some collision things that can happen, which looks like what happened to Jesse, where your sword can just tink off of the ball and chain guard's armor.
Yep, and we have entered stealth mode here, sneaking past all these guards that just don't see us. Running past them. Everything's fine. So just to get the bad aggro there. Got the fast blue guard aggro going back up.
Yeah, he can really take a chunk out of you sometimes. Some decent lineups for the guards in the hallway there. Sometimes they can really group up and just prevent you from moving.
Yeah, escape really just is how many good RNG patterns you can get in a row, because like every room seems to have something, and you just hope that it works out.
The RNG certainly can't be discounted, but it's also a lot of taking advantage of diagonals, and as we said before, pumping a lot. You go through a lot of D-pad rubbers in this game.
But that snake, well, actually, the snake hallway for both of them was very friendly.
Alright. Decent key rat, but Willi got some damage out of nowhere there.
Yeah, they both had good key rats, which is a good thing to see. No Seattle rats today.
So it might look like Jesse's taken a lot of damage. This is actually intentional, because in the next room, the priest is going to ask him whether he understands all this wall of text, and being at 1 heart, Jesse's actually going to be able to select that option a little quicker. I believe it's about 45 frames he's going to save.
Alright, now we see we're going to get pumping dungeon number 2. And then we'll pump a whole lot less, because we'll get the boots afterward. So.
Yeah, so Eastern Palace, a lot like Hyrule Castle, is about maximizing the amount of time that you're going diagonal, because Link moves a little bit faster going diagonal than he does in any cardinal direction. And then pumping when you're going the correct way. So you might notice these runners are going upstairs a little faster than the average casual player. That's because they are pumping on that staircase, and you can really notice the pumping on staircases a lot more than you can on the overworld.
Alright, so into Eastern we go. We get to take the scenic route through the dungeon to get the big key and come back for the bow. There's some cool tech rooms here. We get to throw pots at invisible Stalphi? Skeleton dudes. Because they haven't spawned, but their hitboxes are still there. And you didn't see it, but there's actually 4 in that room. And we only had to kill 2 of them, because one was off the screen, and the other one spawned inside the pot and just died.
Alright, no rupee drops for either side. A little unlucky there. So by the time we're ready to go fight the evil wizard at the top of his tower, we need to have 104 rupees. And we're killing these little tentacle monsters that we call popos to try to get said rupees.
Yeah, really got a 5 drop in that room. I wouldn't be surprised we're going to probably see Jesse slash maybe some of the popos in the dark room with the green Igors. Maybe hope to advance that prize pack, or just might wait to collect some rupees in the room right before the boss.
Yeah, so the way that the prize pack works, ideally you want at least 1 rupee to drop before you go to the back here. There's a very long explanation as to why you want it to be that way. It gives you a better chance at a 20 rupee drop in the last room.
Yeah, because we're going to see 6 popos in that room, and you basically have, I think it's just straight 50-50 that you get a drop, right?
I believe so. As far as I know, it's 50-50. Okay, well, the 20 didn't spawn in the right place for Willy, but luckily money grows on trees in Hyrule, so he will be able to harvest some money later on. That 11 should be just fine for a rupee count.
And if you've never seen this game before, Sean was being literal. It grows on the trees, and we just shake it down. So very nice 11-minute flat there, Eastern finish on Willy's side, and I think 11:09 is what that says for Jesse. Still pretty good.
Yeah, few second lead, but there's a lot of stuff. This is a very long run as far as speedruns go, and there is a lot of stuff in between then and now that can slow our runners down. But this won't be one of them. These are the Pegasus boots, which I believe are actually called the Pegasus shoes, but we just call them the boots.
Yeah, we should probably start calling them the shoes, because I'm pretty sure the boots are made for walking.
That is true. So, a trick that you maybe just saw coming out of Saha's room, and one that you're going to see coming up here in a few screens, is called Spin Speed. There's a glitch that we can arm that makes Link be able to walk and change direction and be able to move as fast as he would be able to if he were using the boots. So over here on Willy's side, we're gonna see him arm it. What you have to do is when Link releases the sword, you need to press the dash button 1 frame after the sword is released. And then you need to touch a manual staircase, and then you will be able to move quickly.
All right. So as the runners are making these nice dash lines over to Desert Palace, I'd like to start speculating, John, because I think we both know what we would do. Are they going to go for the spin speed out of the back desert?
I know Jesse does not. I know for a fact Jesse doesn't. It's from what I can tell from racers that I've seen previously, it's kind of a risky trick. If you jump off the edge during the spin speed, then it costs you the time to run all the way back through the dungeon. So I don't anticipate seeing that. So whereas in the first two dungeons you really need to pay attention to movement and such, Desert Palace is very widespread and has very good dash lines everywhere. So you don't really need to focus too much on that. Desert Palace, normally you just kind of cruise through it, and then there's a really annoying boss at the end.
Yeah, it's almost like the developers intended you to learn how to dash in this dungeon, giving you super long, straight hallways. But yeah, we are seeing runners pick up arrows along the way here. We pick up 20 total under 4 different pots because we're going to use that bow to hopefully quickly kill the boss of Desert.
Alright, pretty friendly Popo pattern for Willy. Sometimes those Popos can try to go off to Timbuktu or something, and you gotta chase them down.
Yeah, and we have no way to hit them other than to either run or walk across the room to slash them. It's kind of nice in randomizer. You end up with some sort of longer range weapon to hit them with.
Alright, here are the land molas. See what they have in store for our runners today. Very nice start by Willy.
Yeah, Willy just needs one more arrow on this last one.
Yep. Nice 3-cycle there. Yes, I believe it was a 3 versus a 4 cycle.
It's like both runners here opting for a safer dash line here out of Desert. Willy's going to be the first one to show us the fake flippers so that we can get up to the entrance to Death Mountain a little quicker.
So this glitch is it lets Link swim without getting the Zora flippers, but it's the one glitch that can really heck your run up, because if you get hit while you're fake flippering, the game does not know where to put Link anymore, and it gets very confused, and if you touch any buttons, then you will cause an infinite screen scroll and brick your run. Fortunately, we have rules in NMG League that if you get stuck, if you get hit while you're in the fake flipper state, that is the one time that you are allowed to save and quit. Oh, yeah. Willi getting dead rocked.
Unfortunate. That's like
So,
the one placement where,
oh. So, these are dead rocks. They're everybody's favorite Zelda enemy. There's no way to kill them unless you have the Quake Medallion, which you do not get for quite a while yet. So you just kind of have to avoid them and... Oh, powder. The magic powder works as well. Thank you, Kasten. And now we are on to what I believe to be one of the more difficult dungeons in the entire game, the Tower of Hera. It's a very technical dungeon. There's a lot of stuff that can go wrong, and anything that does go wrong costs you a whole bunch of time.
basically everything that hits you also costs a full heart of damage, and dying is slow. Having low health is very scary.
So our runners get a little bit of a break here. Just kind of have to stand hiding between these two pots until all of these tiles are done trying to kill them. On the last tile, we're going to see Willi just throw a pot at it so he can get closer to the door.
Jesse got some unfriendly mini Moldorms there in the switch room. Still has 2 hearts, so we're still good. We're going to use one of them, but we're going to pick another one up here shortly.
That's certainly an interesting way to do that room by Jesse. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Seems to have worked.
That Moldorm's just having a little party there between the pot
there. Willi hitting the bomb jump here. So what we're doing there is placing a bomb, taking a damage boost so it goes over the pit, and so the vanilla way of getting to that big chest is that you have to go up the stairs, you have to hit a switch and then fall down a pit, and the bomb jump skips that. And everybody's friend, the Moldorm, the big Moldorm. Willi using his knowledge that if you dash through with your sword out, you cannot usually take damage. There are very rare instances where he will still hit you. And a good fight on Willi's end. And Jesse on the last hit here. All right, now we get to go get the Master Sword.
And really just getting like more unfortunate Deadrock RNG there. They just walked into the front of the Hera exit. Give them a hard time.
All right. Remember when I said money grows on trees? Well, now's the time to pick some money. And here it is. Looks like Willi's gonna have to get all 4 reds from the next pool. But that is quite alright.
Yeah, and the way that works is there's multiple tiers of like what will come out of the trees. So we just saw a tier 2 tree pull, which means we killed at least 4 enemies and took damage at some point before we pulled the tree. What you're going to see the runners do here is avoid damage while also killing at least 4 enemies, probably exactly 4. And instead, they will get a tier 3 tree pull, and that will give them 4 red rubies.
Jesse deciding to pick up the mushroom here. So, the mushroom, normally you would turn that into the witch to turn it into the magic powder, but I believe what Jesse is trying to do is just have it for a glitch called fake powder, which is especially useful in some of the later dungeons if you tend to get hit a lot.
Yeah, also makes some of the menuing in like Palace of Darkness a little easier to get between like bombs and mirrors. You have one less input.
Alright, so in the room that Willie just did, he did 2 sword beams and then he dashed through the guards. That is on purpose. That is another prize pack manipulation that we do called fairy skip. So those blue guards are part of a prize pack that contains a fairy, and we do not want them to drop that fairy. We want that fairy to drop later on in the Turtle Rock dungeon. So we don't necessarily want to kill those. Looks like Jesse's guard got a little bit away from him there.
Yeah, he dashed the one and not the other, and did get the heart drop at least. So we'll see if the fairy gets accidentally dropped early or not.
Alright, so Aghanim's Tower is basically just a gauntlet of kill rooms, basically. Just kill all the enemies. There are definitely ways that you can optimize it, but they're... I don't want to say they're easy rooms, but they're not very mentally taxing.
Yeah, there's just a lot of options. Yeah, which way the guards start moving determines what you do in response, and just learning the responses is how you do Castle Tower.
Willi coming up on everybody's favorite boss and notorious run killer, Aghanim. So how Aghanim works is that he has 3 different attacks. The first time that he shoots an energy ball at you, it will be a red ball. The red balls are the only ones that can hurt him. You just have to play tennis and reflect them back at him. The second attack that he could do is what's called a blue ball, and the blue balls are the time wasters. So first ball will always be a red ball. The second, third, and fourth balls all have a 50% chance to be either a red ball or a blue ball. On average, the average run will have about 3 blue balls. And then Aghanim's third attack, the 5th attack that he does, he will always go to the top of the room there, and he will shoot lightning down. So as long as you hang out in the top part of that room there, he can never hit you. Okay, I believe that was 2 blue balls for Willi.
And Jesse already got 2 on just the first phase, so we'll hope it stays the 2 even, so that way the run doesn't come down to Aga.
Looks like he got the 3rd one there. Ooh. Alright, so 4 blue balls for Jesse. That certainly could have gone worse, but that's not really something you like to see, especially in a race scenario.
Yeah. I forget the exact, I think it's, 6 seconds per blue ball, and then another 6 for the lightning cycle?
Yes,
So
it's
18
somewhere around there. And you can save or lose time depending on how you position the boss, and a little bit of RNG for his warps as well. But yeah, on average it's about 6 seconds per blue ball, and then every 3 blue balls that you get, you'll get an extra lightning cycle, which is another 6 seconds. That is true, Shax. You could knock the Helmosaur off to try to avoid the drop. I wonder if Jesse's going to try something like that.
Having picked up the mushroom, maybe not. Like, it might not matter quite as much, but depends on where you exactly want the fairy. Because you could get it in the switch room before, 2 rooms before Trinix. Because it doesn't matter if you waste your magic there.
Alright, pay the monkey, and we're off here. So, Palace of Darkness routing is a little different than people are probably used to, even if you've watched the Link to the Past randomizer. This is a little bit different. So we drop down to the Stalfos basement, and then we go get the big key, and picking up bombs along the way here to try and set us up for the rest of the run. Now we come to the only rail clip that's allowed in this category. It's called the hammer jump. So what they're gonna do is Willi's gonna place a bomb, damage boost himself over to the left to clip through that rail and get to the big chest without having to go the long way. This is a double pixel perfect trick, and he pulled it off pretty gracefully there.
I just did not get the fairy drop, so it's a positive there. Opting for the one bomb setup.
Yeah, the one bomb is a lot less input heavy, but the two bomb does save a good bit of time. So it's about preference.
Yeah, it's a tough one to learn if you're used to doing the single bomb. It just feels tight, and then once you get it down, it's a lot easier. I remember trying to learn it and being like, "This is impossible. Why? How can everybody do it?" And then now it's pretty easy.
Well, what I tell beginners a lot is all of the stuff that you see us do here is not as difficult as it looks. I promise that it's not. This is a very easy game to get into. There's not a whole... There's not like a whole list of frame perfect dumb stuff that you're going to have to learn. There are a few things, but this is why we have the practice hack. And we salute the developers of that particular piece of ROM hacking.
Also, there's usually pretty good backups for the some of the more difficult pixel perfect stuff. Some of them are pretty hard required if you want to have a decent time.
So, you might have seen Willi spin his sword there and just hit air and think, oh, he accidentally did something. Well, that's not exactly true. What he's doing is the same thing as the spin speed trick from before, but what that does is it extends the hammer's hitbox so that you don't have to be as close to the Helmasaur King to be able to hit him. So... And it looks like Jesse's gonna do that as well.
Yeah, because if they opted for sword slashes here instead, it would take 8, whereas it's only 4 hammers. So it is faster. We like going fast.
Alright, now we do a pretty long run here over to the other side of the map.
Alright, really showing off the item dash there, hammer dash to be specific. And what this does is allow you to continuously use that item, basically. So when we're dashing through the pegs, we're actively hammering them as we go through. It can be done with a number of items, but only some of them are useful.
Yep, you can dash while using any Y item. Like you said, only a few of them are actually useful.
My favorite of the non-useful ones is shovel dash, which I do in rando, just because I can.
Alright, we've got the flute, so now we can go call our the animal friend of this game. I call it a duck. I've heard other people call it other things, but we'll just say it's a bird.
I think it's a duck. Looks like a duck. Sounds like a duck.
I'm not sure, I don't think it ever quacks. So now we get to go to the developer intended fourth dungeon of the game. We are doing this mostly to get a brand new sword. Also, to do Swamp Palace second would take you on a big circuitous world route that would end you in not a great position. So we like to do the dungeons out of order in this category.
Is there a intended route percent category? Anyone?
Yes, there's a category called glitchless dungeon order, which means that you must do the dungeons in order, which means you cannot do Thieves Town before Swamp Palace. So there's a little bit of a different route for that.
I'll be avoiding that category, thank you.
So probably the hardest trick for me to learn in this dungeon is the one that's coming up here for Willi. Let's see. Looks like he adjusted to it. So there's one pixel on that beltway that you can dash through the entire room, avoiding all of the enemies and all of the spikes. It's just whether you can stop on that pixel or not. That's the whole trick.
And then put that whole thing in air quotes, because just because you hit the pixel doesn't mean you get to dash through the entire room.
Yeah, enemies can hit you out of it. It's certainly RNG dependent.
Jesse took a couple hits earlier, so it's down to 4 hearts. It's 3 hearts. I'm sorry, I said something. And it needs to be pretty careful because the crickets, as I call them upstairs, do 2. Basically, everything else does 1.
So the crickets do 2. Oh, Jesse taking a death in the hellway.
Yeah, that fire snake was playing goalie there pretty hard. Just bouncing back and forth in front of the door. Alright, we are going to see on Billy's side the easiest boss in the game, but also probably one of the hardest for beginners or people who have never played the game before. Long story short, the line does the same thing every time as long as you do the same thing every time. So don't mess up. And it's an easy fight like that.
Yeah, if you follow the script, it's a real clean fight. Makes you look like a genius, but if you mess up one small little thing, if you do one thing a little different, then it gets extremely dangerous extremely quickly.
Luckily, no one's ever died in the line, though.
I don't think that's true, Keeps.
Oh. Are you watching my attempts again? Alright, so now we're gonna save the little frog dude here, who just happens to be the other blacksmith, so that we can get that sword upgrade. And that will be our final sword for this game. It does a lot more damage, and a lot of bosses are much easier for us having it.
Including the next one coming up. The difference between Master and Tempered on Mothula is huge.
Just taking down Blind there. Got bonked to the left on the 8th hit, but still recovered just to hit the 9th very cleanly. So good fight there.
What is a normal / good time for NMG? I would say the first step that runners aim for is about an hour 30 minutes. And then from there, you can. I believe the world record is 1:22:49. So. But even getting to that hour 30 mark is a ton of work, and just running every room in this game a good amount.
Cryzen 131. Oh, but I think if you're just starting out, like, you aim for like 145 and then take it, a couple minutes at a time.
Okay, pretty friendly mummies for the mummy statue.
Yeah, you ain't got the arrow drop.
That room can get a little bit hairy. So Willi choosing to fall down the hole there. The reason for that is every time that Link takes damage, you'll see him flashing for a little bit. These are called iframes or invulnerability frames. So instead of just bonking over the pit to not take damage, Willi took damage so that he would have the invulnerability frames in order to walk through that rope on the right side. Saves a good bit of time. I blinked and I missed the moth fight.
Yeah, that's one of those fights that you really hope goes quickly, because if it doesn't, that's when the room starts to become a problem. The longer that fight takes, the worse it gets.
Jesse's setting up his bomb jump to go and get the fire rod. So normally you would have to be completely against the pit in a 1-pixel window to get that bomb jump to work. However, Jesse decided to dash to the right and bonk off the wall, which increases that window to 6 pixels instead of 1. So it's a very nice way to give yourself a little bit of leeway.
Alright, so now that the Villy's done with the Skull Woods, you're going to see Ice Palace as the next dungeon. However, we need one item to get there, and we're going to preemptively pick up another item that we'll need later. So we're going to get the Quake Medallion from the Catfish, and since we're up in that northeast corner of the map, we're just going to hit the mirror and go get the flippers from Zora.
Only taking some damage from a Moblin, which is not ideal, as you really want your sword beams for Ice Palace.
Alright, Moth was being a little stubborn there for just hanging onto that top wall, but gets it down.
Willi slashing that bush, trying to get a heart drop. Unfortunately, was not giving today.
Got one from that crab. Maybe we'll get the other one on the way out.
Alright, so now Willi has the flippers. Now he can swim without risking a soft lock.
Yeah, and I guess I technically misspoke about needing those flippers for Ice Palace. But hey, that's alright. Ooh, gets the extra heart there. So Willi will have full hearts here. Just look at it.
Yeah, so he spent all that extra time farming because these sword beams really are extremely important in a few different rooms of Ice Palace here.
Oh, and kind of forgot to call out the setup there. Really using the splash damage of the fire rod a little creatively. We used the flute on right as we left the north side of the screen for Link's house to mess with some stuff behind the scenes and get that splash damage to hit that freezer very quickly.
Alright, and coming up on one of the more important tricks here, the Ice Palace bomb jump, and that was flawless. So you have to do that bomb jump, or else it's very, very long trip around the dungeon. I believe you have to encircle the entire dungeon twice if you don't bomb jump there to get the flaps in the state that you need them, which is slow. We want to go fast. I would say if you're thinking about running this game, definitely make Ice Palace bomb jump one of the big things that you practice and get good at.
Yeah, that trick really doesn't have an alternative. Well, technically it does, but not one that anyone ever wants to do in a speedrun.
Alright, Willi getting some unfortunate RNG by this boss. This is another fight that is technically scripted, but there are certain things that can go wrong in this one. That if it's a lot tighter script than the blind fight. And also this one can just go down to RNG. So, nice recovery there. And now we sit and wait for the maiden to tell us her life story.
I don't read Japanese, but at least the English version, it says the question at the end is, "Did you understand everything I said?" So I'm usually saying, "Yeah, I totally got it. It's fine. Just just be quiet. Let me go to the next dungeon."
Alright, looks like Lily's getting the Ether Medallion here. Some people decide to do this after Swamp Palace, because using the hookshot on these ladders makes it just that tiny bit faster. But the risk of taking damage on that screen is very large, and Misery Mire is another spot that you want to have sword beams for.
Alright, I think it's safe to unclench now. Cold Stare goes down on Jesse's side.
I did not want to say one thing. Last thing Jesse needs right now is a commentary curse. Alright, and we're on the Swamp Palace. This is another one of those technical dungeons that Like, there's little micro movements in here that can really save you a bundle of time. Like that one. Grabbing that pipe despawns Link's shield, takes pixels off the screen, and leaves room for the water when it fills up, so it saves about 7 frames, if I remember right. Jesse going and getting his Ether Medallion, and I don't want to predict, but I believe we're about to see a little bit of route divergence here. Nope, he's going straight to Swamp. Okay. So some people decide to get the Ice Rod before Swamp Palace just so that their shopping's done and they don't have to worry about it later, but if you get it after Misery Mire, then the menu is a lot easier and a lot quicker. Okay, we're just getting the big key here in Swamp to go and get the hook shot. Hook shot's an item that you can do a lot of fun things with. If you pay attention to other major glitch categories, there's even more fun things that you can do with it. But for this run, we just use it for the mundane things, like hooking to pots.
We saw Billy there, very, blink and you miss it kind of thing. Do a hook shot while hitting the A button at the same time to get a hook dash and be able to pick up the pot under the statue there, like first try. It's one of those minuscule time saves.
Willie opting for some more arrows here and a little bit of health replenishment. I think mostly what he wanted there was the arrows, because you're going to use a lot of them in Misery Mire, and you want to have a certain amount for Ganon's Tower. You want to have at least 13 when you walk into Ganon's Tower. Alright, no fancy pants, zero cycle nonsense. We're just cruising speed here. Just normal little boss kill. And as Willie goes into the longest cutscene in the game, Jesse is about to get his hook shot.
It's making really good time. Just a little bit behind the PB pace there.
Alright, now we go into Misery Mire, which starts fairly technical and then just devolves into an RNG fest and then ends with a technical boss fight. See if Willie is a bird tosser or not. No bird toss, Sedge.
Not even for the restream.
Very nice, Mire 2. That's the room that you definitely want sword beams for.
Yeah, it's a very technical room that the Wizrobes, you can only hit them for a little while they're active and then they disappear, and I'm not sure how long they disappear for, but it's at least a couple seconds that you're wasting if you miss the kills on at least all the Wizrobes. You're hoping to get the Popos at the same time, but even cleanup of a couple Popos or the one that runs away is not that bad.
Jesse taking down Argus in a little different fashion. He decided to use the fire rod instead of just sword spins. That method uses an extra dive into the menu, but it is slightly faster because Argus doesn't jump up and then have to jump back down.
And on Billy's side, while they were waiting for the invisible wall behind the door frame to move, I don't think we called out earlier the using items while pushing blocks. We saw it when the runners were flooding the dam. We used the mirror while pushing the block. They deleted the block. Billy just pushed the blocks and used the fire rod, and the fire rod shot goes through the block while the block is moving. And get to light the torches without pushing all of the blocks, which, if you played the game as a kid, vanilla, like I did, pushing the blocks sucks. Everyone takes forever. Just having a good mire too as well. The one Popo tried to run away, but tracked it down pretty quickly.
Alright, so now on Willie's side we're gonna see a glitch called Spooky Action from a Distance. So basically you just saw him kick up dust there. We set that up outside of the dungeon. There's a way that you can manipulate what's called the altitude value in order to get the game to think that you're shooting the fire rod longer than you actually are. And in this next room here, you'll even see it clip through a wall. And the third one, very nice. So that spooky action trick saves about 12 seconds over bombing the wall, hitting the switch, etc., etc.
And if you looked away for like 30 seconds, that was the boss of Meyer. Very quickly, rather than wait for all the little eyeballs to come out of the goo, because that goo hurts you for 1 damage, we just run in and use those iframes to hit all the puffs, the eyeballs.
So Willie is about to go get his ice rod. Like I said before, having that hook shot in the menu makes the menu from flute to bombs pretty easy. And we're off to Turtle Rock. As Jesse is pulling off his spooky action here. And a good demonstration of the Viddy fight on Jesse's side as well. Alright, so this is our final dungeon, Turtle Rock. In Turtle Rock, everything does 3 to 4 hearts of damage, so it's very, very easy to get in a low health situation. And you saw Willie just skip past that roller there by hookshotting through it. When Link has the hookshot out, he cannot take damage. That is something programmed into the game. So, just a little abuse of that mechanic to go through that room a little faster.
And Billy opted to mirror out of that room, even though they had the fairy lined up. So, interesting call. I'm not sure if they always do that.
Yeah, it's a decent race strat. It only loses about 3 seconds, I would say, because of the extra menus and such. Like, when you're racing and you're allowed to watch your opponent, you're allowed to see that you're ahead, and maybe just opt for more safe strats rather than trying to go for it in every room. Alright, what will Pokies give us today?
Unfortunately, missed the double split on the first one.
Yes, this dungeon also has 2 Mario enemies in it. You saw the chain chomps before, and then there's also Pokies that bounce around. There's also rollers, which are a bit more of a Mario thing. Alright. Chain chomps were pretty tame. Those enemies can really mess you up, and it's 4 hearts of damage if they hit you, so pretty friendly RNG there is always good to see.
That was an interesting switcher. I don't think I've ever seen anybody do it that way.
Yeah, I believe that's... I have seen that before, but I haven't seen it in a long time.
I think it's the double spin on the main head of Tranix, and then with one more slash, blows him up. So those are all the crystal dungeons we can now get into Ganon's Tower. The real final dungeon.
So Ganon's Tower is extremely difficult. It's definitely if it's not the most difficult part of the run, it's definitely one of the most difficult parts. And you have it right at the end there, so if you're, say, on PB pace or such other things, then you've got the PB nerves and the sweaty palms that can really mess you up in that dungeon, so... Jesse about to perform the laser skip. Looks like he's gonna choose to walk past the laser rather than dash through it, but that's quite alright. So the reason that you can do that is that entire laser, only the front, I believe, 4 pixels can hit you. And then the rest of that laser you can just walk through, take no damage. Little neat trick there on Willi's side. You throw the boomerang and then you get your hookshot past the flaps before your boomerang hits, and you can hookshot through those flaps.
Yeah, basically, the game doesn't care about solid objects as long as you've already connected. So It's kind of the same deal with the fire rod shots through the block.
Unless they're dead rocks. The hook shot will not send you through a dead rock.
Definitely the worst enemies in the game.
Alright, Lily with a full quiver here is not going to bother with getting any extra arrows. Just going to bomb the floor and go right down to the basement. Jesse's arrow count is a little less, so he's going to probably have to get that chest before dropping down here, which contains 10 arrows. And a nice handling of Armos on ice there. Really, getting those extra 10 arrows, I don't know if I would have done that on 11.
Yeah, that was a bit surprising. Because you only have to get through the first mimic room, and then you can pick up 5 more anyway. And then there's more in the gauntlet if you like to use arrows.
Might also just be one of those things where I'm ahead, I have the extra 2 seconds to do it, why not?
Or you can get 15 dropped in the first mimic room.
Alright, Willie going a little old school for this room. You might see some other runners do a little fancier strat, but nothing wrong with going a little old school sometimes.
He's playing tag with those blue Zizaks.
Yeah, Gauntlet it's a lot of just kind of running through it and figuring out all the RNG, stuff like that, and even then it can still go horribly wrong. Nice friendly landmo pattern there. These Wiz Rope rooms, in my opinion, are some of the cooler full kill rooms because of that use of the Cane of Samaria.
Yeah, they're definitely like the most satisfying to learn and then do.
Alright, Jesse's got his big key, and now it's his turn to go through the gauntlet. Little divergence in strategy from Jesse's side. Just goes to show you there's many ways to do all of the tricks in this game. I'm being a jerk yet again, and he's gone.
Let me know when Moldon is not a jerk.
When you hover across the gap in that room.
Fair enough. Even then, he can still get in the way.
Alright, well, I hope you paid attention in geometry class, because now we gotta take down the geometry wizard here.
These are some beautiful setups. Very friendly patterns.
And now the big twist of the whole game is that Aghanim was Ganon the whole time.
Always has been.
And now we just need to take down the big pig, walk across the bridge, and we're done. That makes it sound easy, but it certainly is not.
Yeah, Billy set up very nicely for the 1-on-1. Just to dodge some bats, has plenty of health. Wow, imagine Ganon not warping. Oh, never mind.
So every time Ganon warps to a new spot here in Phase 3, it's a 50-50 chance whether he's gonna decide, oh, this spot isn't good enough, or whether he's gonna reappear. And each warp costs time. I'm not sure exactly how much time, but it's still slower.
Only because I asked that question earlier today, I was told about 2 seconds.
So this fight looks probably a little different than it did on your Super Nintendo as a kid. This is... So, first of all, we're killing Ganon without getting the silver arrows. As it turns out, there is a backup strategy programmed into the game. That if you damage Ganon while he warps in a 2-frame window, then he will take the damage. And as Willie goes across the finish line first here with a 127.36, GG there, and we'll see Jesse do his Ganon fight here.
Yeah, GG's for Billy there. Definitely had a really good run compared to PB times. Was only, let's say 17 seconds off. So that's pretty good in a race setting, especially.
So we'll try to hit some of the stuff we didn't mention in Willie's Ganon fight. Once Jesse gets the 4th hit on Phase 3 here, he's going to wait for that left torch to go out, and then light it before the right one goes out. I don't remember how much of a window it is. I believe it's about 10 frames or 1/6 of a second. But if he does that, then the right torch will never go out. This is a Japanese 1.0 exclusive glitch, and it makes the maintenance on this fight a little less. And we are joined here by one of our runners, GG, Willie.
GG. Thank you.
Yeah, GG. Very nice run.
GG. Thank you. Thank you.
So it looked like it was going really well, and then you got a little bit of unfortunate RNG on the way to Ice Palace. But it looked like you recovered it pretty well.
Yeah, you're right. Ice Palace was very rough because that shield guy after that warp into Dark World. I hate that guy. I hate that strat. So sure, it must happen. He must hit me, but
Yeah,
it's
of
okay.
course.
I found 2 hearts, so bit of time loss. Okay, but this ice. I mean, this cold stare fight was awful too. So yeah, overall, it's okay. 1 split is okay. But thank you.
And put your GGs in chat for Jesse, who crossed the finish line at 1:30:22.
GG's.
Very nice run from him as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, clawed back a lot of that time, so it's also very impressive.
The Terra split was not good because that rocked me, and yeah, this was very unfortunate because the Desert Palace was very nice in my opinion, and yeah, then Hera is going on. Yeah, always.
That was a very, very good Landmo fight.
Yeah, it was good RNG. Yeah.
Right, we are also joined by Jesse. GG.
Yeah, GG.
GG. Whew.
Jeez.
I'll take what happened. I'll take that, I guess.
Yeah.
Was that a PB for you?
No.
No?
It wasn't a PB. No.
I was going to say that was a good run, it looked like, so.
Yeah, it was a good one. My PB is 127.19. So
Okay.
not far away. So
No,
I'm
not at all.
so I'm okay with that. I'm very okay. Yeah.
Jesse, we saw your unfortunate death in Thieves Town, which, I mean, you just got trapped in a really weird position there.
It was funny, like, I had you guys up, and, I heard you talking about, the God Pixel, and I was like, yeah, if that happens. And then I hit God Pixel, and Patrick decides he's not going to be my friend.
Oh no.
Yeah. So, but one of the positives though is after Ice Palace, you started shaving a good bit of time off your PB there.
So, and that's the big thing that I've been looking at, like, this year, just starting up. Like, I have the time there, and I feel like it's not a question of if, it's just a question of when right now. I've been trying to hit just complete runs this year, and so this is like 14 or so completed NMG runs so far this year, and the consistency's getting there. So like I had a few second PB for quals for this, and between Hera and like the back end here, like this would have been a few second PB without the death. So
Oh.
Like, it's gonna happen sooner or later. I feel like I'm due for, like, a big PB is gonna come soon. It's unfortunate, like, I'm racing against a really stellar GT for me right now, so. But, yeah. No, I feel like it's gonna come soon.
You will get it.
Yeah.
You will get it, man. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely shows that you're finishing runs and focusing on that late game.
Yeah, the Meyer thing, that was actually the first run I've done where I've done Meyer 2, so.
Well, you did it very well.
Yeah, this week we were. I was just hanging out with some friends. I was like, "Oh yeah, no, I'll just hang. Let's run that," and then, yeah. So now we can do it.
Sometimes that's all it takes is just sitting down and focusing on one room, and then you just pull it off.
Yeah, especially rooms
Yeah,
like
let's say
that
I've gotten
where-
shamed into learning some things on occasion.
All right, Keeps, do you have anything else?
No, I think we're good. I think this also wraps up the first round for the Eastern Palace bracket. So looking forward to seeing what round 2 holds. Sean, I know you're in that bracket as well, so you might be staring down a future opponent here.
We'll try to get across the finish line this time.
I was gonna say, I know it's you and Kaysden, and who else is the other 0-1 with us?
Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know.
It looks like Coin Chaser.
Coin Chaser.
Coin
Oh, Coin
chaser.
Chaser. Okay.
Had a nail biter, lost by PH, won that one by a nose.
Was it 1 second difference, huh? That race.
I believe on
Yeah,
the
that
retime
was-
it was about a second and a half.
Holy shit, man.
Still not the
Okay.
closest race so far in NMG League this season.
Okay.
All right, well, GG to both runners again. It's a fun one to commentate, and hope to see one of you later on.
Definitely, man.
GG.
GG. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Restream. Thank you, commentating. Thank you, Jesse, for the race. Was fun.
Yeah,
And
fun race.
Yeah. I think we hear us the next few weeks, few days, whatever. We hear us. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
So, and before we raid off over to ZSR main, where another NMG match is going on right now. Again, thank you to the runners. Make sure to give them a follow. Also, thank you to our commentators, Secretly a Sliver and Keeps. And just a quick preview what's up next here on ZSR. At 3 PM Eastern, we have a match in the Twilight Princess Lava Dash Goron Mines RTA tournament. At 3:20 Eastern, we have Ocarina of Time Randomizer Standard Tournament Season 6 match. At 4 PM Eastern, we have Majora's Mask Randomizer Blitz Tournament Season 1. Another match of another rando. And what else will we have? We are planning to do a restream of Skyward Sword Wing Clash Any Percent tournament at 5 PM Eastern, and at 9 PM Eastern we have Zelda 2 Randomizer Max Rando tournament. Quite a lot on the weekends, but also make sure to check our schedule over for more Zelda content. Any final words? Guess not. So, thank you very much for watching, and see you next time here on ZSR.